Well, I'm joined now by Mick Hussey, Jake Kalilec, I think, and Kieran McCarthy. And while the ad break was on, actually, we were talking about characters in the town, and my God, Youghal, but absolutely full of characters down through the years there. And there's still a couple of characters around the place, isn't that right, Mick Hussey? I'm looking at one now. I'm looking at one now.
Well, in your last interview, when the lady there said she loves listening to your dulcet tones, Noel, I was wondering, you don't dulcet tones, but don't Cronin.
Yeah, yes.
You're one of the town's characters, Noel. You don't know.
No, you're one of the characters.
Listen, happy Halloween, Noel.
Indeed.
And all you hear. I would just remember, the bang in your teeth from was it the tenner or the silver coin we used putting the apple or something and hanging it off the ceiling or something?
The sixpence, you put the sixpence into the apple. Of course, they don't do that now anymore.
And then it was bobbing in the vat then, wouldn't it?
That's you put them into a bath or something like that. You try to grab them with your teeth, you know?
Yeah, I wonder, is that tradition kept up?
Oh, sure, health and safety, I suppose, has found a rule, I suppose, to negate that or something like that. You know yourself.
Talking about tradition, Noel, we've a big one coming up next Thursday. It's screening. It's a unique screening, and we're going back in time 100 years. 100 years we're going back.
We talked about this last week, actually. I got a huge response to this, actually, talking about this last week, and people said to me, this is unique. This is unique, and it's often the unique things that will work very, very well. It's a once-off, I understand, and it's an old German silent movie
called The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, made in 1920.
It's slightly animated. Would I be right in saying, is there a slight animation, or is there liberty taken with the figures, or what?
No. There's no animation in it. No. What it's famous for is unique for at that time as well is the distorted background view backdrops that were hand painted for the film.
Yeah,
so
I think
they're not effects or anything like that. There's no effect. There's no. It's the painting and the distorted views, kind of like Van Gogh, kind of distorted perspectives and all that kind of stuff.
I think actually Walt Disney actually probably took a lot of his things from here. I would imagine because he did a lot of that actually in his early films and things like that.
Tell you what the animation was, Noel, and this is what's important about the film from that time in silent, of course, is how they told the story was that intertitles were coming up. You know, there are no subtitles on the bottom of your screen, as we know, that we have now put in for this particular show.
The titles came up every so often.
The titles come up, and of course they're in German, and we put the titles in English. But they would lead you along to the next act or the next what's happening now. You know.
This was a feature of the silent movies.
It was.
If you go back, we said to a lot of the silent greats at the time, the silent characters at the time, like. You know, you had a caption to take you through it.
You had, but they also know the effect, if you want to call it, on animation in it as well, was, do you know that kind of when the screen would go dark and zoom into a small little circle like you see in Charlie Chaplin? Yeah. You know what I mean?
I think Charlie Chaplin is a famous one called, is it the Gold Rush or the Gold thing?
Yeah.
Was famous for that actually, because he zoomed in. At the closing
all of them did copy that then, Noel, and so, or they'd zoom back out, you know what I mean? Now, to do that at the time, Noel, that was a way of bringing you to the next stage, you know what I mean? So that alone, those transitions alone were unique, and there was a way of telling the story. Remember, like in 1920, that was only 25 years after the invention of film, you know what I mean? So to produce and
it was a very novel way of doing it, because everybody, no matter who you were and no matter what age you were able to follow the script.
Absolutely,
and follow the characters without any sound.
Yeah, and without any sound. But of course, in some places then at this stage for the silent movies, of course, they had orchestras or someone.
They had a lot of the bigger cinemas. They have an organist, and they had an organist playing the thing. Right. And this is where the lads come in now, because the organist or the musicians use tailored their pieces for the action on the film.
Well, what we're doing, Noel, is in the Hearst's Regal Cinema, as we know it. We grew up with the Hearst Cinema was the first cinema in Youghal in 1914. And it was Reuben Hearst and his wife Zita. And she studied under, I think, Jake, you might give me a hand here, the musician, Alois Fleischmann. He's famous in Cork, I think. That's right, German music composer.
Yes.
Reuben Hearst's wife Zita studied under him. And she played with her husband, Reuben, to sound effects to the silent movies they made Hollywood westerns at the time, so they would have had some effects for horses' hooves running through the desert or whatever it may be, or the ranch or something like that.
Yeah.
So they had all effects there for the silent movies. The silent movies would have been very short in time. This one is 1 hour and 20, and we're going to recreate that with the local musicians here. Kieran McCarthy, well-known Kieran McCarthy, is going to do percussion, and Jake Kalilec, and Jake is going to do the synthesizer, keyboards, piano, and the lads are going to recreate the sound for this masterpiece of a movie, The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. It's a kind of a thriller horror movie, and it's suiting for the Halloween theme as well.
Brilliant, Mick. Turning now to Kieran and to Jake. Kieran and Jake, you have a very important role to play in this, because obviously you're piecing the music to go with the film. How difficult is that? Like, you have to actually study the film in great depth to see the different scenes and to kind of project or to forecast what the characters are doing and match the music to boot.
That's right. Noel, I think Jake, you might take over there for the music side of it, if you mind.
Yeah, Jake, take over here. Tell it. It's
difficult.
That was very difficult, because you had to study the film in depth, wouldn't you?
Right, yeah, definitely. And it's 1 hour and 20, so it's a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah.
I know, I really enjoy it, but it's a very unique film, and it was way ahead of its time. Like, as Mick explained there, like distorted backgrounds and all that kind of Van Gogh style.
Yeah.
So I want the music to kind of represent that, and then the story is kind of a man losing his mind or has lost. It's kind of reminds me of Shutter Island. I say Shutter Island must be
right. Yeah. Well done. Shutter Island was a lot of Shutter Island, a lot of films as well. Yeah, and Psychos in there as well.
Yeah, and it's not linear storytelling, and especially for that time, it's very ahead of its time. The way it goes back and forward in time.
That's right. Yeah.
And I'll have to get the music to kind of show that. Even the first time I watched it, I wasn't sure, but I'm not used to watching a movie like that. But I know to know where we are in the timeline,
exactly,
and the music would really help that. So there's a lot of little nuances.
Well, it's a fair ask, because I suppose when you look at films, and you mentioned there Psycho, now you mentioned Alfred Hitchcock there, like when sound came in, the music was, I suppose, put back into second rate, but at the same time, it was there, and you had loud crescendos where you had something happening, or if you had romantic scenes, you had quiet music, etc., etc. It kind of sank in, I suppose, when sound came in. But this, what you're doing is you're the only audio there. That's the thing. So there's a huge onus on you to get this right, isn't it?
There is, yeah. And it's a very weird movie, and so the music has to be weird.
Exactly.
Strange, and it's a great horror. It really is. The first time I watched it, the second time I watched it, really gripped me. I don't know, the ending and stuff.
Funny you should say that, because I was looking at the reviews actually, and there was reviews written in 1920 and indeed 1925, and when they went to America there, a lot of people came away from the film feeling a little bit discomfort, for want of a better word. A lot of people didn't like the film because it kind of played in their inner minds, kind of thing,
You could almost say it was kind of the first of the horror genre, thriller, psychological movies at the time. And like Jake said there, it's how they're going to do it, I don't know, because they're doing it live, but they're going forward and backwards with the flashbacks.
That's the thing,
It's incredible. And the intense thriller scenes in it. Of course, it's a German movie, and it's not a Hollywood production, and it's from that German Expressionist movement at the time. So it's a unique film. It's a fantastic film, and we're really thrilled about it. And to have live music while this film is going to be played, and I would want to tell the viewers who are going to be there, they're in for a treat because it's in 4K, and they're going to see it in HD definition, and Noel, you should see it in 4K. It's incredible.
Yes.
Sometimes the old movies are kind of a little bit murky and all that kind of stuff, but this is just astonishing altogether, the way they've restored it to 4K.
And has it been restored internationally, Mick?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. There was a big international movement from Bologna in Italy to South America universities, and they all sourced all the different clips that were lost around the world, and they restored it all to a 4K. And myself and Kieran had seen it during the week, and that's the screening.
It's quite stunning,
Of course, it was a film, I suppose, that was way ahead of his time again, and it was unique, I suppose. And of course, again, Germany at the time, I suppose, was undergoing a huge change there from the republic to from a democracy, a republic, whatever the case may be.
It was in between the two wars. It was in between. So you can read into that or whatever way you want.
It was Depression time again. Money was freaking like confetti and blah blah blah. Hitler was ascending to power.
You could look at it as an art movie. You could look at it as a kind of a political movie, as a psychological. And you know something? If there's any Goths out there listening, make sure you turn up for that, because there's Gothic written all over this.
Yeah, that's the thing. It was a kind of a movie, as I said there, that I suppose stared in the face of democracy, stared in the face of society as well. It was a very unique movie. And again, I suppose German engineering at the time, Germany was way ahead, I suppose, of America and indeed England and anybody else to produce films.
As a rule of thumb, any movie that's made reflects that era of that time,
Yeah.
So even now,
Yeah.
As a rule of thumb, they do reflect that era, that year they were things. So it's from that 1920s, Germany, Berlin, cabaret. You've got it all there.
But of course, as well as the music there was a lot of sound effects as well. And I think here's where Kieran came in, actually, because Kieran, you came in with some, for all the world, they're like big horses' hooves, but they're made of timber, actually.
They're wooden sound blocks, actually, they'll be using on the night as well at the cinema,
Yeah.
So just to paint a bit of a picture, what will be happening is, I would be known as playing a drum kit, but on this night I won't be. It won't be a conventional drum kit, so I'll be breaking down the components of the drum kit and playing various sound effects to complement Jake's music. So what I brought into Noel, is 3 wooden blocks that were hand carved by my grandfather Danny Douche McCarthy.
Yes.
So I don't have a date on them. I personally have them for about 20 years. They were found in a renovation up at Cork Hill at a time, and I think looking back, the Mac Cayley band used to play in the town hall in the 30s and 40s.
Yes.
So they're definitely going back to there. Danny Douche used to play them himself, from what I was told. And so on the night, I will be playing them. I'll just give one a little tap. These little wooden blocks. So I'll be using these for sound effects throughout the film. They'll have different tones and stuff like that.
Yes, and of course, they're hollowed out on the inside to resonate, I suppose, to give that hollow sound and that reverberation sound, I suppose. Again,
that's right, yeah.
It was actually Danny Douche coined him. And you can see, I guess, and the minute you touched one of them there, it brought instantly Cayley bands. Cayley bands used them a lot for the double tap for the start.
The double tap at the start, that's right.
Yeah. Amazing. So these will be used on the night as well.
They will. I just brought them in just as a kind of just to give you an insight of what will be happening on the night. So outside of that, I'll be playing very different, various things. A lot of made up little instruments. Anything that will kind of create a sound or an effect or an emotion to go with the feel of the movie, as we're watching it in real time,
Yeah, and of course, you'll be situated, in practical terms, you'll be situated directly underneath the stage.
Correct, yeah. We'll be directly underneath the stage, and we'll be watching the movie unfold and playing music to match the scenes to go with it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It'll bring people right back, I suppose, back to the 20s, and indeed, again, cinema back in the 20s there, it was a one hit, it was absolutely, this was out of the world to see actually moving pictures, and Mick, you and I talked about this before to see it, but to see actually this on stage, it was revolutionary at the time.
Remember, this is going to be a one-off event,
Yes.
And it's unique, and I can't wait. The lads will be up front. I'll be like a nervous wreck in the back, making sure, hoping everything is okay. Or will it be like the old days when the film will break down and Mickey Roach will be up in the projection room joining it together with sellotape or something, and there'll be all sorts of hollows of boo and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I tell you one thing, when you mentioned that, I think a couple of people that I used to hang around with, Billy Horgan, and that was Joe Horgan's elder brother, and Colm O'Connell, down in the Mall, and the three of us hang around together, and of course, we'd try and get into the cinema of a Saturday, and because the big thing was get into the cinema and to kind of get, the bottles, you bring back the bottles to the pubs and that kind of, you get your couple of pence back from the bottles. So we're saving up for the cinema. But you see, usually we hadn't enough. So we'd pay for the gods. Remember the God seats down the bottom? Pay for the God seats down the bottom, you know? And of course, when Maisie, we called Maisie Horgan the all-seeing eye. Because I swear she had an eye in the back of her head. Because we'd get in and we'd wait till the crowd comes in and we'd sneak up. The curtains, of course, were put up for sound, to stop the reverberation from the sound. And we'd creep up the curtains. And she'd the curtains moving and she'd shout out, Cronin, Horgan and O'Connell, get back down to the gods straight away. Back down to the gods.
You were awful blackguards.
We were awful blackguards. And then we'd wait until she'd go out again and she'd be out with the ticket office.
Off you go again.
And we'd go off again. And she'd come in with the torch. And I'd say she'd see us in the dark. And she'd say, Mikey, stop the film. Mikey, stop the film. And if Mikey stopped the film, there'd be booze and everything. Oh, there was...
Noel,
you'd be embarrassed going down there.
Can I give a bit of a tip here, actually, if there's any listeners intend on going? As you and I know, the gods are, in our time, were down the front seats. They were the cheaper seats. They were the penny seats.
They were the penny seats,
down the front, the gods. And the further back you went from the screen, you paid more money to...
You did, of course. Yes.
In this case here... if anyone is booking online or anything like that, regalcinema.ie, by the way, book online, €10, and all the proceeds is going to Youghal Talks. But if you're going to...
Can you pay at the door?
Yeah, if there's tickets available.
If there's tickets available, so the advice we're giving you is... Book online. Book at
regalcinema.ie.
Or nip into the cinema and book it.
In the gods, they were the cheaper seats. But in this particular case, on this unique occasion, I would advise anyone going to actually go down the gods, because that's where it's all happening. That's where the musicians are, and you'll be able to see them and be part of the atmosphere. They are down in the gods rather than up in the back area of the upper tier of the cinema.
Well, of course, when we grew up a little, when we got a little bit older, like we were all going up into the up into the back seats, like, but they were. But that was
the kissing in the back row time.
That was Shinskale Shinskale. Yeah, but yes, you're right, I suppose, to see the action now. But the layout of the cinema, the layout of the Regal Cinema is top class, as we know. It's a sloped floor, so you could, no matter where you are, you have a brilliant view of the stage and indeed of the lads there as well. That's when I say the stage, the screen.
We're so lucky, Noel, because the one, like we say, Youghal has a little bit kind of has a lot to put itself up by. But the fact that we have the Art Deco Regal Cinema still going since 1914 is amazing. And the fact that the lads are, a nod to Reuben Hurst and his wife Zita playing that music from over 100 years ago is incredible. And the fact that Kieran is here now demonstrating what his grandfather Danny Douche played in the Caligari bands back in the 1950s. It's all come together. It's going to be amazing.
We have a little clip actually that you gave me, I think, and you're going to enjoy this, I think. This is the late but great Mikey Roach. And of course, Mikey Roach, nowadays, of course, cinema, you just put in a disc or on you go and end the story, the whole lot to look after itself. Then the story was way, way different altogether. It was very, very manual, changing reels, etc., winding up reels, making sure everything was right, making sure arc lamps are right and the whole lot. So Mikey was way ahead of his time. But Mikey was a fascinating projectionist, as we know. And you gave me a little clip there about Mikey's story and when he started, way back there in 20. So I must just ask you to take a little bit of a listen to this.
Now, I'm delighted to be joined on the phone by Colin White, and Colin is the National Advocacy and Projects.
My name is Michael Roach of Youghal. I was born in 1923 and I was 18 when I started work at the Regal Cinema, 1941. That was during the war, about 5 months before Pearl Harbor. And this bill was the first cinema in Youghal, Horse Picture Palace Youghal, and it opened 1914. And it burned down overnight, 1935. They believe that the fire started by the screen, and when they got down to it, it was burned out. And a year later then they built the Regal Cinema, and that opened 1936 with the film Top Hat, starring Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire.
What a memory. the late great Mikey Roach, and we have great memories, I suppose, of the late Mikey Roach there. And as I said, he was he was like the Philip on the films, basically, the projectionist.
He told me there was 1,000 people who go down to Friar Street and all between Horgan's Picture Cinema and the Regal Cinema. There was 1,000 people regularly going on that street there. 1,000, yeah. One could cater for 600 and the other would cater for 400. I think the 600 was the Regal Cinema, Mikey told me. Imagine that, when everyone was going to cinema before TV. 1,000 people going down Friar Street.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Of course, listen, this is the main social outlet.
And we hope that there's
1,000 people coming to the Regal Cinema now.
For next Thursday night, Noel, it's October the 30th, and all the proceeds are going for a local mental health advocacy group called Youghal Talks.
Youghal Talks. I know we were supposed to have Anya in here as well, Anya Martin, but unfortunately Anya can't be with us there. But as I said,
the proceeds will go to that, and we've got great sponsorship as well from Kieran Quinn and the staff down there in the Youghal Credit Union. They've come aboard, and we've got there's people coming on board and throwing spot prizes at us left, right, and centre. Yeah. But I just want to say, Noel, that huge credit to J. Kalilec and Kieran McCarthy here, because the work they're doing in the background for this is amazing altogether. And it's going to be amazing to see the two lads perform. And I know that they're friends, and I know that they've played kind of gig together or done sessions together. Yeah. So they'll be watching each other and they'll be hopping off each other. It'll be an amazing, it'll be one-off, it's amazing.
There's one thing, I suppose, to write a song and to sing it in time or whatever the case may be and put it together and all that. But this is a little bit different now. You have to match the song to something that went on a long, long time ago.
And no better than the two
boys. No better than the two boys. As we said, lads, the real pity about it, I suppose, is like Duffy Circus for one night and one night only.
Yeah.
That's the pity about it. Like, I know, like, it would be very, very hard, I suppose, to have it on a couple of nights, because it's, it would be one thing if there's a film or whatever the case may be.
When I mentioned it first, actually, Noel, to some guy, he said to me, "All right, Mick," he says, "Will it be on again?" You know what I mean? The following night.
Yeah, again.
I say it wouldn't be the same every night anyway.
Oh, it wouldn't be the same. No. It's not. But I suppose an idea would be if there was a video made of it or something like that, or whatever the case may be. The soundtrack was maybe recorded or something like that, and put it on again with the film or something like that.
No, may I say, about a month ago, it was Killian Daly, who's the manager of the Regal Cinema, contacted me, and he said he'd like to do something for Halloween. And I made a short little movie as well. He wants to play that, so that's going to play before the main film. Yeah,
You kept that very quiet.
Well,
very quiet.
He asked me, would I mind? I said absolutely no problem. But it's only 15 minutes. I said work away, but 50 minutes wouldn't be long enough to hold a crowd. So that's going to be the B movie, Noel, before the main screening.
This is the B movie.
So I'll be famous for. I can say I played a B movie in the Regal Cinema.
But tell us about it. Come on now, tell us about it, because you kept that very, very quiet. Tell us about this film. What's it about?
It was just a college film that I made a couple of years ago, Noel. You submit some scripts, and if they like it, they'll film it. And my one was about a little kind of thriller or psychological thing as well, about a guy that was going round Cork City, and he was stealing cars for a living, would you believe it? Right. And he got a little bit of a prophetic warning from Chris Bailey, actually. You know Chris Bailey in town?
Yeah.
We had him dressed up as a kind of 1960s Bible bashing biblical hippie, and with the long hair, and he was giving prophetic warnings on the street and all that, and he met your man and he says, listen, dude, whatever you're doing, and all that kind of stuff, and he doesn't listen. So what happens then to this guy is... He continues his life of drink, drugs, sex and rock and roll, and you'll have to wait for the ending then.
Does this film by any chance mirror your early childhood? Would it by any chance?
The memories of the back room.
Yes. It's all
I'm going to get that right.
You're going to get that done, otherwise known as Mick in earlier times.
No, I'm going to stick with the claim to fame of B-movie. I had a B-movie show.
You get that, yeah.
But no, again, to the lads, I mean, the work that Jake is doing.
That's the thing.
You're kind of deconstructing the film, Jake, and all that, and for your...
Yeah, you have to take it apart.
Putting motifs and all that kind of stuff in it.
Yeah, like anything I play, it changes the whole scene, like, so there's multiple ways you can approach it, like, you know, you can make it more creepy or, you know, more weirder it gets, or, like, as I said, and like, there's a couple of key scenes in it, like, there's a lot of murder scenes and stuff, so there's loads of space to do wacky things. And
and of course, the music will heighten the atmosphere of the audience then, you see, the expectations of the audience.
Yeah, it'll be different anyway, I don't know.
So to be, I kind of like drones or electronic. I was kind of, my mind was like that electronic Kraftwerk Tangerine Dream, Gary Newman type of keyboards that we grew up in the early 80s and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but you must remember, this is the 20s. You must remember now when this was originally done in the 20s. Yeah. What had they got?
You know, but no, what we want to put a modern tinge on it.
Yes, that's the whole.
No, it's not going to be very tonal. It's going to be atonal. Big parts of it.
Brilliant.
A lot of atmosphere.
Yeah.
Lads, it's great having you in here, and can I wish you the very, very best of luck. I'll be there on the night anyway, and as I say, I've booked my tickets, so I'll be there on the night. Yeah. But again, as I said, the most important thing, the Regal Cinema, I don't know about the seating arrangements there, whatever, I don't know how many the cinema can hold. But you'd be well advised to book.
You can hold 130. No,
130.
You have to go to the Regal Cinema website to book your tickets, and to do that, you go regalcinema.ie.
Can you book?
And book tickets there. Then you'll see Dr. Caligari. Then you
can you walk into the cinema, because we're very, very conscious. You see, people and all. It's nearly everything now is done online, the whole lot. But we must think of the people that have devoid of the WWW fraternity. Now, there's not too many of them. But we get this now and again, especially older people, they say, I haven't access to a computer, I don't know how to do it. Can I go into the Regal Cinema and say, look, I want to book a ticket for Thursday night?
You can when the Regal's open.
Oh, when the Regal's naturally, when the Regal,
book a ticket that way, or maybe phone them up.
Exactly.
I don't know what the phone number for the thing, but absolutely. And on the night, Noel, if there's seats available, you can pay on the door. And,
very good.
Like I said, all that goes to a great group, Youghal Talks, and really thanks to the All Credit Union and all the sponsors. I know the Walter Alley have given dinner for two, and Murphy's Pharmacy have given prize for male and female, whatever the spot prizes, and Jeff Flanagan for the boardwalk. It's just too many to mention, really.
Very
good. What I mean? It's fantastic. A great buzz.
Mick, delighted you could come in, and thanks for the lads to come in, Jake Kalilec and Kieran McCarthy. Can I wish you the very, very best of luck indeed. As I say, like, there's an onerous task you're taking on, but I've no doubt about it. It'll be a huge success. Lads, the best of luck to you.
Thanks, Will.
Right, lad, that's it. Don't forget, it's on the cabinet of Dr. Caligari there. It's the 1920s German silent horror film there, with live music at Regal Cinema Youghal. And as the lads explained there, it's contemporary music score, 20th century music or 21st century music there, performed live by Jake and indeed Kieran McCarthy on percussion there. Jake is incidentally on the electronic keyboard and composition there. The Regal Cinema for one night only, Thursday the 30th of October at 8 p.m. and the live score will be performed beside the Art Deco screen. So as I said there, again, it's only one night only, 8 p.m. there, and it's on in the Regal Cinema here in Youghal. So book early and avoid the rush. And as Mick said there, you can book through, as I said, the Regal Cinema again .ie, regalcinemayoughal.ie. Google that and you get up all the details of that.